Good morning. This is Anne from Home for the Soul series, and this is video 2. And I am in my magical tent, which you can hear my chimes. I have my chandelier of twinkle lights, and it's just a little tiny tent that I got. It's a children's tent, but it's my imagination zone, my hut, and it helps remind me of that really incubation time of playfulness and feeling secure. And I love coming into here. I even have a little mini piano. So I set it up actually for my granddaughter, but sometimes I get to play in here. And I brought it into our learning today, into our investigation, because we need to play. We need to explore, and we need to feel magical and use our imagination. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. Today is a wonderful opportunity to look at your creative development from the very beginning when you said, I made something, I'm an artist, which we covered in video 1. And we're going to take it all through all the escapades and the magical journey that you as an individual, a creator, a thinker, a human being, have kind of rolled through life, stumbled and climbed and clawed. And we are artists, we are creators. So this is one of my favorite activities that I do with students and with participants. And you have a lot of leeway of how you want to do this. Basically, you're mapping. You are creating imagery any way you'd like. It could be marker, it could be pencil and crayons, it could be paint. It could even, you could build if you'd like with Legos or whatever. The size is up to you. The bigger we get, the more involved it is. So think of that as far as simplicity and being able to keep your ideas still plugged in. When I do this with students, I roll out really big paper and I put out lots of paint and markers and all kinds of opportunity for people to create. So if you don't have large paper, which you can go get a big roll of paper or large paper, poster paper, whatever. If you don't have it, just take copy paper from your computer and put tape on the back and make a big grid. But I would say a regular size of a poster size would be the minimal that you would use for mapping. So this is a map that I made. I'll show you the other side in a minute. But this was a good size for me when I had to create a visual map of my ideas. And so I used watercolor on this one and marker. Sharpie is a really great tool. So think about creating a palette of different materials. Think about the size, or even you can stop and add on paper. Just add another one and keep going. But you're going to journey and do it visually by making a visual map. So if you participated in last week's opportunity to really go back in time and think of your first time when you said, I made this, I created, I'm an artist, and you recognize that ability to use your creativity, your artistic ability. Start from there and create some kind of lines or shapes or words. Again, it's up to you. You can narrate, you can use words, you can use symbols, you can sketch. It's up to you. Start there. And from there, go into a meditative state. Well, what's the next thing that I remember? And map it out. How far are these things in a map in proximity? When we map something, we designate a space for something, a who, what, where, when, and then we merge to another. And there is a little space in between there, and you get to decide the sequence, the positioning, the proximity. This is not something that has to be perfect. This is not even art making to frame or applaud. This is a map of thinking. So when I had to make this map, this was for a class I took at Columbia University. The question was, what is art? And I was like, oh my gosh, what kind of question is that? And so a good tool that educators use is the who, what, where, when, why, how. And so if you get stuck, think of the who. Who were you then? And think of, as I did in the last activity, think of what did you look like? Where were you? Were you creating in a studio? Were you in your backyard making mud pies? Were you in your bedroom in a tent like this, or under your bed, or under your covers, or on a little desk? Where did you make this artwork, or what was the experience? The who, what, where, when? Was it at nighttime, during the day? When was it in your life? These are very broad questions. And then go to the next. And so you're going to be mapping out, and it could be a linear thing that you just start in one place and keep moving, or it could be in the center and be radial and just do lines into the next experience. The order really is not the main thing. The taking yourself through that journey and discovering, yeah, you know what? When I was in 5th grade, I won a poster contest. That was really big. And I remember bringing my poster home after it hung in the hallway, and my parents saying, wow, that was really great. And my mom saving it, and I still have it. So that was a really big thing for me, that I was acknowledged. And then going to 7th grade and not really loving my art experience, and telling the art teacher I wanted out of here because she was marking up all my art. And she actually sent me to the principal's office and told the principal that I needed to stay with her for a while. And the principal gave me a choice of being in the art room or sitting in a room all by myself doing math equations. And I took the math. And then after a couple of weeks, they realized that probably wasn't a good thing to keep this young 7th grader being punitive in the other room. But what it did is it made me put a stake in the ground as a creator, that I didn't want teachers and others redoing my ideas and painting over and saying that's wrong. And so from a very early age, as a creator, as an artist, I was like, hey, I need to think, I need to create, I need to imagine. So that was a really big thing for me in my development. Going on to high school, going on to college, being a mother, being somebody who owned a house. And how did I have art within my house? How do I do it as I grow older? And where does that take me today? So that mapping from that very beginning to now, make that map, create it, use whatever materials. Maybe it's all just verbal. Again, this is your journey. This is your mapping. And for a sharing, what I'd like everybody to do is take pictures of, you can either do along the way, take pictures to document, or you can take a picture at the end of your map. You can also videotape. I've videotaped big groups of my students doing this, and they were phenomenal developmental videos of watching people really lay out their development. And we took some time doing our map. We took from an hour to 2 hours. And I suggest you give yourself a nice big segmented time, that you're not going and walking the dog and making dinner or whatever. Cut out a time for it. And so share with me, put it on our blog, on our forum. If you're a student at Adelphi University, plug it into our next Moodle module, and whatever it is, if it's a picture, if it's a video, we need to see some imagery of your process or your final product. So if you have any questions, email me, anteed7@gmail.com, or my Adelphi email for my Adelphi students, ANNT as in Tom, EED7@gmail. And if you have any questions, please give a shout. I look forward to sharing and seeing what you come up with. So have a beautiful day. Here's my chimes, and have a magical day. Get to play.